All right. So this is the third video in our Jeep series, and as you can see, a lot has changed since the last time that you've seen the Jeep. You might also notice that I have my assistant Zoe and my other assistant Alma, who's on the camera right now. But before we get into some doing, let's do a little more talking. I promise this series will eventually get more hands-on, but we're just getting started. Let's do. Okay, so the first thing I had to do in this Jeep is I had to clean it up with metal prep because it rained. Show them the metal prep. All right, I have pour 15 metal prep, and what that does is when you rub it across, like if you have bare metal and it sits out, here, you can put that down. It starts building rust, and you can't see it, right? And so you get this stuff and you rub it down, and it just encapsulates the rust. It's very similar to what this black stuff does, but not quite the same. Hang on just a second. And so this is $18 a gallon for a bottle of this. It's fairly expensive. You may not want to use that, but I did. You know, I wanted to use it. Now, so what you will notice everywhere is there's black lines everywhere, outlining everything, and that is chassis saver. Here, let me get this right here. And that is a rust encapsulator. That not only that can be painted over, right over bare rust if you want to. I don't. I sand it off, but you'll see it all around. It's outlining everything. You can notice it's pretty heavy where the heater goes. That's because the heater causes condensation, and the heat, the condensation gets behind there, and the heat actually rusts stuff out. So we did it there. But the most important place that you put your rust protectant is up under this surface right here and right here, and that's because the condensation gets under there and just slowly rusts it away. I also do all the lines because I don't know. Can you see up here, Alma?
Let's see. Yes.
In the old Jeeps, you get a lot of rust like these. You get a lot of rust up here because the door's been open. And what you'll find is that the side that you drive on in these Jeeps tends to be a lot more rusted than the other side. And that's because the door's open all the time. So this one had some rust here, and I actually cleaned it all up, and I used the metal stuff anyways. But I just like to do that. The stuff stick. It's $40 for just a little pint. Once you open it, you can't close it again. Not really. I mean, maybe one day. If you get it on you, you're gonna wear it for a few weeks. So, like this, you know, it's just part of my life now for the next 3 weeks probably. And when you're done using it, here, sit down, Zoe. Sit down. When you're done using it, the paintbrush is gonna look like that. And that paintbrush is runt now. So get a cheap one. Okay?
No, yours is fine.
Alright. But that's what all the black is, you see. And that's everywhere where I thought there might be rust. And you know, you'll notice it's heavy up under here, there, and there. And it just outlines everything else. The next thing you'll notice, hey. Yeah, the next thing you'll notice is the white stuff. Here and down there. That's the body sealer we talked about. That's the body sealer we talked about. What are you doing? She's got to show you everything, I guess. That's the body sealer we talked about, and its most important place, Zoe, the most important place is here, right on this seam, because a lot of water gets through there, and you can't see very good. Hold still for a minute, Zoe, so she can focus the camera. Stop moving. Up under there, all just around the lips, you can see it really hit. Move over here, Zoe, so they can see the edge. That there is the most important place, there and there. That's actually what is rusting the outside of your window if you have it. It's from here, and it rusts. You need to stop moving around, goofball. And that is rusting through. Zoe. And that there will rust straight through as well, in case this Jeep was rusted through. So that's how it should look when you're done. I've put it up here to make it not vibrate. I put it under there to stop rusting. Got everything done. This is ready for primer. I'm just going to wipe it down a little bit because we've been in here doing the video, and then I'm primering it. And so the next time you should see this, Zoe, the next time you should see this, it's going to be a solid gray primer. I'm using what's called self-etching primer. Excuse me. I'm going to use self-etching primer. Gray is not really the color you want to use when you have contrasting colors like this. But I wanted to use gray for the outside just because I like the way it will undercoat green better. So it could be, hey, don't. What she's showing you is that this is soft. And I guess that's worth pointing out. It'll always be soft. I can paint over it right now. But as you just learned, kids like to mess with it. So try to keep these things away until you get your paint sprayed. What I was saying about the primer is that the black might show through, but it's not going to be a big deal in here. Normally you would use red primer over contrasting colors if you're doing a body change color, but we're going to use gray. So we're going to turn the camera off, and when we come back, it should be all gray in here, and then we'll be talking about spraying the final paint. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm just going to get the gun ready to do the primer. Sorry about little Zoe. She's little. It's not mini-me. That's what it is. So the video was a little messed up. She was moving around, but she really wanted to be on one. So this is my gun. It's a cheap gun. Harbor Freight. That's what I'm going to spray primer with. So basically, primer's pretty easy. You just put it in the top of there. Using actual car primer. It's fleet paint, so it's a lot cheaper. I think this one's called 5-Star Extreme. It's a VOC. It's just a low velocity primer. And all you do is you mix half of this, half paint thinner in this cup right here. That's it. You just get it really good mixed up. You spray it. You can spray. Probably it's like 50-70 pounds. I'm probably going to go with 55. The difference in how you spray is how thin it goes on. This is inside. I'm not too worried about it. This is a really thick primer, and it's going to sound funny when I say this, but the way you know that is to pick up the cans. This can's real heavy, and this is going to be a really thick primer, which is going to be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to load it up. I'm going to get my respirator on, get my goggles. We're going to do some paint. I can't show you painting, but not yet anyway. I'm working on learning how. But basically, we're just going to put the compressor on there. I've got a big compressor because it takes one to keep up with the gun. 50, whatever. I'm going to go with 55, I guess. And you just go all the way down. You try to stay the same distance. All the way, all the way. All the way. Sorry, I got messed up there trying to get the camera, but that's the idea. Okay, so we're gonna turn the camera off. We're gonna load this paint up. We're gonna spray some primer. You ready, Emma? Turn it off. Okay. All right, everyone, we're back. We sprayed primer. Looks all right. You can see there's a little bit of mess. This is what you're looking for. I still have more to spray. My gun was basically wore out. My primer gun didn't know it. Thing was chunking paint like crazy, man. And so I've got a lot of spots and stuff, but the great thing about primer is it's easy to clean up. So I'll go through, I probably shouldn't be in here too bit early, but I'll clean this up, sand it a little bit, and then I'll do one last coat of primer. Just smooth stuff like this up. I just want to show the difference though. You can see, like this is smooth, that's textured. You can see I've got some running, some chipping off here around where I put the seam sealer. It's because it's too cold. I knew it was probably too cold to spray the paint. Holy smokes. Sorry guys. I have a torn ACL and sometimes I try to stand up, that happens. Anyways. So around there, the seam sealer, that was too cold, didn't set. But that's fine. I can sand that and we can fix that. But looks pretty good out here. Everything filled in all right. Yeah, my leg still hurts, man. And so what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna end this one here, and then I'll do a part 4. And I think what I'll do is I'll come through and I'll clean all this up and go ahead and spray the paint. And what I'll do is on part 4 I'll talk about how you adjust your gun and everything. There was nothing I could do about this particular adjustment. It just wasn't possible, and I mean it was just heaving paint out. Normally though, what you want to do is you want to get a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard and spray it, and I'll explain all that. But this is good coverage. It just wastes paint. It's just money, right? No, I'm just kidding. So we'll get it cleaned up. I just wanted you to see how much different it looks, and you'll see how much different it looks again after we spray the paint. This is going to be, I think it's called Alpine White, or maybe it's a tan. I forget which one I got. Oh, I got the almond color, because the outside's going to be Alpine Green. That's what it was. And so this is going to be tan in here all the way around. And I'll do the video before I put the roof slats up and before I insulate it. And I might put a little bit of dyno mat under here for the sound. And then hey, we'll put the heater back in and stuff, and we'll probably take it around driving to see if it's rattling or anything. And if it is, I'll fix that before I get ready to sell it. Wife wants this one to go. I think I'm probably going to fix the engine, make sure it runs good, get the steering and the brakes done. Probably put this one up for sale around, I don't know, $3,000. I didn't want to sell it for that much, but this one had problems with the engine, so it's like $3,000. In your part of the world, that may sound high, but in Texas, that's pretty standard. I mean, you can't buy a CJ for $3,000, not one that runs. And this all runs and drives, so I'll think about it. Somebody has cash in hand, as you know, Richard on Gas Monkey says, cash, in hand on the day. Who knows? But I think 3,000 is the target. I'll come back to you for video 4. Try to subscribe, hit like. Thanks for following and all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.